All praises to the Most High. Shalom to my brothers and sisters out there, especially those who are in the faith, in the fight, and preaching this truth. I want to give honor to all those who are out there preaching this truth, the good news that we're the people of the book. Okay, listen, they used to say all the time that if you want to put something, if you want to hide something from black people, put it in a book. So I'm going to read this particular book, and it's called The Valley of Dry Bones, the conditions that face black people in America. And this is by Rudophf R. Windsor. Of course, illustrated by L. Hagan. So, we're going to read excerpts from this book, and I admonish you to listen, because I know you're busy. I'm pretty busy, but we have to find time to read. We have to find time to read, because if we don't read, I recognize we as so-called black people, what we do, we get our history from movies. We get our history from stories that's told and so forth. And we only get our history from 1619 and up to this point, to the 21st century. And my question really is, what about our history before 1619? We didn't just poof out of air. We came from somewhere. What was we eating? How were we dressed? How were we worshiping? How did we what was our civilization before slavery came? When they came to Negro land, oh, you never heard of Negro land? Negro land, and I admonish you to pause this video and go Google Negro land map, 1747. When they got us in Negro land, there was a particular spot. They had a grain coast, gold coast, and it was a slave coast. They did not go all over Africa. There are 55 countries in Africa. Countries, not cities, not states. Countries in Africa. Africa is huge. They didn't go all over Africa to grab slaves. They went to a particular spot, and that was Negro land, and it was called the Kingdom of Judah. And we already know that our Christ is from where? The tribe of Judah. Remember, the 12 tribes of Israel had 12 names, and Judah was one of them. We'll get into that later. And I'm giving you this information because most of the time we'll just hear stories about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and Moses crossing the Red Sea and stuff like that. Daniel in the lion's den, but we don't really know anything else about our history. So come with me. Come on. Come with me on a journey to finding out who you are. Finding out why it's important to know who you are. We've been black. We've been Africans. We've been called Afro-American. We've been called Negroes. We've been called colored. We've been called so many things, even derogatory names. Why are we the only people in the world that do not have a name or a ethnicity? But guess what? We do have an ethnicity. We do have it. If you stick with me, I'm going to prove it to you that we do. We're not just slaves. This color right here. We're not just slaves, even though we are oppressed and we are in oppression. You may think you're free, but you're not free, because Joel says, And I love this because the Most High Yah is going to get all the glory. And he's not going to literally free us. You might, just because you got a good job and live in a nice home and nice neighborhood, you got a lot of money in the bank, and you're filled with the Spirit, does not mean that you're free. You may be doing well in life, but you're not free. As a people, I'm saying, we are not, not I don't want to hear, I talked to someone before and they say, well, I'm free, man. I don't know about you, but I'm all right. But yeah, maybe because you got a few things going on for yourself don't mean that you are free. I'm talking about as a people. Why are we in the state that we're in as a people? And if you go with me with this journey, and I'm not going to promise you I'm not going to do a video every day or every other day, but if you see me come on live, you better get this information. This goes not only for our people, so-called black people, but this is talking about the Gentiles as well, and other Gentile nations. That if you come with us, because, and speaking of the Gentiles, I want you to understand something. Isaiah 14:1, pause the video and look at it. Or if you want to keep listening, that's fine. Get your Bible and read it. God said the Most High Yah is going to choose Jacob. He's going to forgive Jacob. He's going to pardon Jacob, and yet choose Israel. And this is to the Gentiles that he said in there. Read it. If I'm paused, that's fine. You want to listen to me and then pause it, that's okay too. He talked about strangers. So who is he talking about? He's talking about the Gentiles. He's saying that he's going to yet choose Israel, and the strangers are going to join in and cleave to Israel. So I'm excited to let you know that you have been grafted in. But we need more Gentiles to speak to their own, to let them know that you must be born again. You must be holy. You cannot make it to heaven with hate in your heart, with racism, and so forth. You cannot, Gentiles. If you want to be the one that cleave to God's chosen people, this is your opportunity. And what I want to do real fast, I want to read just a little bit of this book. I dropped it, but I'm going to get it. Okay. I want to read just a little bit of this book. It's called The Valley of Dry Bones. The Valley of Bones. Now look, I want you to know that there is a time coming, and we are in wonderful times right now. Try to keep the light out of your eyes. Wonderful times. I'm just going to read the preface of this, and then we will get to this book that God is going to, Ezekiel 37 talked about, that he's going to revive the dry bones. Okay. The Valley of Dry Bones. Okay. For many years, I've analyzed and reflected on the profound problems of the black people in America and the problems of mankind in general. I believe there are definitive reasons for the plight of the black people. I maintain that the sufferings of the black people did not happen by accident, but are the direct result of the violation of the universal divine laws. And until black people study, and correct these violations, then and only then we can extricate ourselves from the cesspool of social destruction. He that does not learn from his mistakes is doomed to repeat them. I strongly advise the reader to read my first book. I'm going to pause right there. He has the first book, Rudophf Windsor, titled From Babylon to Timbuktu. You must get this book. Pause the tape, pause the video, and go to Amazon and get the book. You can get it for like $12 to $22. I strongly advise the reader to read my first book titled From Babylon to Timbuktu. This book is a history of ancient black races, including the black Hebrew Israelites. By reading my first book, the reader can acquire a background knowledge of many important points discussed in this, my second book. It behooves me to express my appreciation to the faculty of Gratz College and Temple University who taught me much. Although it was the knowledge of my remote and recent ancestors and their affiliation with the Marcus Garvey movement that gave me the key to the true understanding of black history. Without this key to understanding, the established educational institutions would have brainwashed me into the state of confusion and deception. And to pause right there for a second, the reason why is because we only get our history, once again, from stories, from our preachers who really do us a disservice by not giving us true black history. I said this a long time ago, and there's no disrespect to anyone, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to put my book away for a second, because what we're going to do, we're going to come back to that book, and I'm going to read the first chapter to you. I said at one point, with no disrespect, I'm tired of hearing about Dr. Martin Luther King. I'm tired of hearing about Rosa Parks. I'm tired of hearing about certain folks over and over again. But let me tell you something. If we began to read and study to show ourselves approved, we began to get our true history and learn biblical history, take the book and began to apply the book to our lives and really see who we are, we wouldn't have enough time to express Black History Month just in February. We would have to have every single month. There is so much. Did you know Europe? Did you know Europe was black, started black? Did you know that Chinese people were black? Did you know Mexicans were black? There's so much information. Don't you know, when I say Europe, I'm talking about all of Europe was black. But we didn't learn this in our school, our public school system. I implore, oh my goodness, I know I'm just a little small guy. I'm gonna sit back in my seat. I know I'm just a little small guy. You probably think I don't know what I'm talking about, but I can prove what I'm talking about. But we can just come out of this public school system and we can get our own schools and learn history. It would be so awesome. We have learned his story, not our story, but his story. Oh my goodness. We need to learn our story. We need to go back to the basics and find out who we are. And I'm telling you, you will be so amazed. I'm going to end this video. I'm going to create some more. And I want you to stick with me because we're going on a journey. And I want to share with you who we are. We are truly kings and queens. Not just saying it, just to be making a post, just to be saying something, just to be saying it. We are true kings and queens. We are God's chosen people. And I'm excited. I'm not talking about everybody. Everybody isn't Israel. Only everybody is Israel because spiritually, yes, we're Israel. Everybody's Israel who receive Christ. But let me tell you something. There is a natural people that the Most High is coming back for. A natural people who are lost. And he's doing it right now. The nation that been, the 12 tribes of Israel have been scattered. Really, Judah has been scattered. And the Most High Yah is going to gather us all back together again. That's what he's doing right now. And I tell you what, I want to be a part of this. I want to live so I can see it. And I must say this before I go. If my people, which are called by my name, 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, the Most High Yah said he'll hear from heaven. He'll heal their land. I'm telling you, he wants to heal our land. I'll get into more of that too. I want to say goodbye. I want to say all praises to the Most High Yah. Shalom, shalom, and shalom. Peace be unto you.